What's up, vetters? I have a great episode for y'all today. A new nonprofit is just launched called the UAP Disclosure Fund. It is going to be advocating for greater UAP transparency from our government. Good luck. But let's see what this is about, y'all. We've got some people in the UFO community who've all come together. Some names you're definitely going to recognize. So let's take a look and see what exactly this is. It's floating around everywhere. Again, it's called the UAP Disclosure Fund. So we're going to take a look at what this is, see what this is all about. Is this going to make a change? Do these type of nonprofits help? Let's see. If you're new to the channel, y'all, and you like content like this, please hit that subscribe button. I put out a new video every day, 12 p.m. Central Standard Time. I do not miss a day. And please hit that like button, vetters. That really helps out the videos, so thank y'all so much for the support there. And of course, comment down below, what do you think about this UAP Disclosure Fund? And again, generally speaking, do nonprofits like this actually help? Let's dive in. All right, first thing we're going to do is look at their Twitter here. All right, it's called, again, the UAP Disclosure Fund. Our mission is to promote greater understanding of UAP, unidentified anomalous phenomena, UFOs, okay, we're talking about UFOs here, by advocating for government transparency and scientific research. And then they've got a link to their website, which we are going to look at, and they have a video, which we're going to watch. And you'll see they're only following one person on Twitter. Let's see who that is. Interesting. SpaceX. Of all the people to follow, SpaceX. So again, I'll put a link in the description to this to their Twitter account. Go give them a follow if you are interested. And as you can see, here is the team that is launching this. Okay, Luis Elizondo is on the board of directors. They have him as the former head of the Advanced Aerospace Threat Identification Program, otherwise known as ATIP. You have Dr. Garry Nolan, also on the board of directors. He is a professor in the Department of Pathology at Stanford University School of Medicine. Carl E. Nell, board of directors. Aerospace executive, retired senior military officer, corporate strategist. Then you have Christopher K. Mellon, advisory board. Former Deputy Assistant Secretary of Defense for Intelligence and Staff Director of the Senate Intelligence Committee. If we go down a little bit lower, you see Kirk McConnell, Advisory Board. Former Senior Staffer for the U.S. Senate Committee on Armed Services. Kirk also joined the Americans for Safe Aerospace or something, the one that Ryan Graves has, the nonprofit. Kirk also joined that one. Yuan Feng, the executive director. He is a political strategist and creative director. Then we have Matthew Ford, director of strategy, political strategist and creator of The Good Trouble Show with Matt Ford. Leslie Duckworth, who is their chief financial officer or CFO. Interesting to see Matt there for sure. He is a, YouTube host like I am, right? So he's clearly getting more involved with this on a serious level. And now I guess we can see, how he gets all the guests on the show. Now, granted, it could be the other way around. Maybe because he had them as guests on the show and they liked him so much, they invited him to be part of this UAP Disclosure Fund, right? And Matt has a background in other things as well, so they probably wanted his skills that way. But I don't know. Does that affect his being biased or whatever? Does it really matter? No. You should put your time and energy into things you believe in, right? And screw the haters. So if this is what Matt feels happy about and wants to invest his time in to do, all the more power to him, honestly. And he's putting his money where his mouth is in the sense that he's getting more involved. I mean, this requires more work, right? On top of running his show the way he does. So good for him. And look, this is a great group of people, right? Luis Elizondo, Garry Nolan, Carl Nell, Christopher Mellon, right? This is good. This is going to be interesting. Our mission, the UAP Disclosure Fund, is a nonpartisan political nonprofit that advocates for greater government transparency regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena, UAP or UFOs. We work to support new UAP legislation, provide legal representation for whistleblowers, promote scientific research, and raise public awareness in an effort to better address the UAP issue. All sounds great to me. Right? And Matt Ford did tweet out that this has nothing to do with Good Trouble Show. And look, you're allowed to have different projects and do different things. A lot of successful people do that. Doesn't mean everything's connected. Now, in some ways it is, as you know, your brain can only compartmentalize so much. But it's, you know, everyone's going to decide what they want to do here. You have a choice, and nobody's forcing you to do anything. If you want to support them, you can. You can sign their petition. You can donate to them. That's what they're asking for, donation of funds. It's called the UAP Disclosure Fund, right? Clearly, I know people are going to spin it like, if you donate, we'll get disclosure. It's not that simple. All they're saying is donate to us if you want. We're the team that's going to be advocating, right, in Congress, lobbying. It's essentially, right, lobbying in Congress to help with UAP legislation. And then on top of that, they're going to be providing legal representation for whistleblowers, right? Helping them find legal representation, scientific research, right? Anything to do with bringing the UAP topic into the public, I would imagine. I mean, nobody's paying me to say this. They didn't reach out. This is just, I'm assuming this stuff. I'm going off of their mission. Right? And it's honestly up for anyone to decide for themselves. So, because again, I can already read the comments. People are going to be upset about this. Some people are going to be happy about it. It's up to you. But don't get mad at someone else if they do support this. Please. It's their money, their time. They can do what they want. You do what you want. But don't put anybody down if they do want to support this. And don't put anybody down if they don't want to support this. Right? And maybe you just need to see what they do. Right? But they are asking, right? You can sign their petition right here. They have 1,227 signatures. They want 10,000. Right? You can join the movement. Again, I'll put a link in the description. You can go figure this out for yourself. Support the mission. Right? 100% of your donation goes to funding our activities. Our board members are volunteers and are uncompensated for their time. That's interesting because a lot of times that's what ruins nonprofits. I've seen it happen a lot. People create these nonprofits, and then all the money that gets donated goes to the salaries of the people working the nonprofit, and nothing ever actually gets done. Because when you create a nonprofit, you've got to pay all these people and all these things you're trying to do, right? So you've got to earn way more money than you know what I mean? What's coming in. Only a small percentage actually goes to the cause, and that's different for every nonprofit. That happens a lot, and it's a way for people to evade taxes and things like that. I'm not saying that's what this is, by no means. So I'm just saying to help explain why they probably wrote that. Our board members are volunteers and are uncompensated for the time, right? Because that's what you might assume. Oh, great, it's just going to them. But they only said board members, which means the rest of it is going to be going to, well, I don't know, right? Matthew, Yuang, Leslie. You don't work for free. And there's nothing wrong with that. Working for free, right? Like, it can't, they have to get some payment. I get it. So they're going to need a lot of, donations to help get this going, right? Just like people that support Vetted. I need people to support this show for me to continue to do it. Otherwise, Vetted goes away. Right? It's the same thing for this fund here, the UAP Disclosure Fund. They're going to need money. Otherwise, they will go away. So I guess I'm just more curious, like, what's the difference between this Soul, New Paradigm Institute, all these other, and granted, that doesn't mean there should just be one option out there for people, right? There should be multiple options for people to decide, because they're all going to do it different ways. And there's nothing wrong with having multiple lobbying groups going to Congress to help push this issue. The more people that do go to Congress and help push this issue, the more Congress will pay attention to it. That's what the majority of Congress wants. What is the public concerned about, to an extent, right? What are my voters pressuring me on? That matters, But it also matters what deals get had behind the scenes. Some might say more. But regardless, look, let's watch this video. UAP Disclosure Fund, demand the truth.
I am here to discuss the so-called flying saucers.
Well, if there's another thing, it's rotating.
Last night's 60 Minutes story on UFO sightings by U.S. Navy pilots is causing a big reaction today.
There's footage and records of objects in the skies that we don't know exactly what they are.
My hope is that we will use the U.S. intelligence community to solve this mystery once and for all, to find out where are they coming from, who's behind them, what is the agenda. We have the means and the capability to do that if we set our minds to it as a nation.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm that the testimony you are about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
The American public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplainable phenomena.
We're going to uncover the cover-up, and I hope this is just the beginning of many more hearings and more people coming forward about this.
Have you met with people with direct knowledge or have direct knowledge yourself of non-human origin craft?
Yes, I personally interviewed those individuals.
The best science, isn't it, is when you go against the grain.
Yeah. Eventually, the anomalies and the things that don't fit the picture add up to the point where you can't ignore it anymore. And so that's what has just recently happened. We're watching a Kuhnian moment.
This is huge, isn't it? We're at a huge moment in human history right now.
It's essential we keep working on our proposal to create an independent presidentially appointed review board that can oversee UAP classified records and create a system for releasing them where appropriate to the public.
UFOs, unidentified flying objects, are real.
Bill, I think we're beyond that already. The government has already stated for the record that they're real. I'm not telling you that. The United States government is telling you that.
Bam. Great video. Great video. Here's a quote from the American public has a right to learn about technologies of unknown origins, non-human intelligence, and unexplainable phenomena. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer, July 18th, 2023. So again, I'll put links in the description here, y'all. Y'all go check it out. See everything they got going here. Their petition is for UAP legislation to be included in the 2025 NDAA, which is what I covered in a video just a couple days ago. It was the video with Robert Garcia. That's who I was trying to think of the congressman's name. Robert Garcia. So check that video out. He proposed, I guess, 3 different UAP amendments, right, for the 2025 NDAA, which is the National Defense Authorization Act, which is America's yearly budget proposal for defense, It's pretty simple, right? Because America spends a lot on defense compared to the rest of the globe. In fact, way more. The numbers are astonishing. Like, if you added up number 2 through 10 or something, it doesn't even, like, America still spends more than all of those added up. Like, it's crazy what we spend. So let me read this here. Now is the time to let the U.S. senators who co-sponsored the UAP Disclosure Act of 2024 know that you support including a new version of the UAP amendment in the 2025 National Defense Authorization Act. In December 2023, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer from New York and U.S. Senator Mike Rounds from South Dakota both pledged to continue working on future UAP legislation. It is crucial that we let them know we support their efforts and hold them to their promise. It is also important that we advocate for increased protections for whistleblowers who might come forward with important information regarding UAP. The UAP Disclosure Fund is a nonpartisan political nonprofit that advocates for greater government transparency regarding unidentified anomalous phenomena. We work to support new UAP legislation, provide legal representation for whistleblowers, promote scientific research, and raise public awareness in an effort to better address the UAP issue. I mean, that sounds like you're checking off all the right boxes, right? All the things that we would want. I hope, you know, honestly, some of the best stuff that they could, some stuff that they could help for promoting scientific research and raising public awareness is really do some like events, do some online events or something, or have an interview with everybody, have, you know, the audience there to ask questions, give support, because I'm curious how they're going to promote this. Right, Soul Foundation had like what they call it, a symposium, right, where they did have an event. So I'm curious if UAP Disclosure Fund, like how they're really going to get this out and make this seem like something to get behind. Because right now it's just a website, right? So that's interesting. And what commitments have these people made? Again, these are all big shots. These are all people you would want helping with UFO transparency, right? And look, guys, even though Matt is a journalist, I don't think there's anything wrong, in my opinion. Could it affect his journalism? I mean, maybe, but I don't know. Everything does, you know? What, he's not supposed to have a life outside the show? You know what I mean? Like, he's not allowed to support things he believes in and take it a step further, you know? Is there a conflict of interest? I don't really think so. It's just a YouTube show, just like mine. Okay, it's not that important. It's just a YouTube show. So, yeah, I'm happy to see him do something like that, to be honest with you. Support any other creators' endeavors, right? I try to anyway. So, yeah, Luis Elizondo, Gary Nolan, Carl Nell, boom, and an advisory board, right? Kirk McConnell and Christopher Mellon. What are we going to get from this? What is the benefit? How do we know that it's working? Does that make sense? Like, how are you going to tell if this is working? What can you take credit for? The support has been good online. For the most part, right? It really has. So, good. Look, you do need these kinds of things. If UAP legislation is going to happen, You do. You have to have things. You have to have lobbying. It's just how our government's set up in America. We can complain about how the game is run all day long, but at the end of the day, got to get in and play the game. Right? You can complain to the refs all day long about the rules of this, that, but it's going. The clock is ticking. So you do have to have lobbying groups like this, essentially, to help with this, for it to become an issue. Because, look, like it or not, there are many different avenues opening up when it comes to the UAP phenomena, right? The ET phenomena, right? You've got disclosure in the sense of, are we alone? Just answer that question, America. Tell us if you know something. Just tell us that one answer, right? Then you've got laws that need to be passed to help all the infrastructure, all the iceberg underneath that question of, are we alone, right? What's the iceberg underneath the question of, are we alone, right? And that's what UAP legislation is for, is to help with all these things, right? And you need groups over here to help push for that, because take UFO and UAP out of it. Just put legislation. You need groups like this. Now, which group you support, that's up to you. They could also get private funding, right? Are there no rich millionaires out there who want to know about UFOs and aliens? Like, let's go, y'all. Who are you rich mother effers with all this money to spend it on crap? Put it into this for us. Let's go. If I become rich, I will help that way. I am not rich. I promise you this channel does not make me rich. So I don't know. Where are all these rich ass people, man? We need to get YouTubers behind it, right? They like to throw around cash like it's nothing. Why doesn't Mr. Beast do a video of like, you know, I will give $5 million to, you know, we're going to find aliens today. Throw some cash out. Let's start leveraging. Right? But you're going to need this stuff because the government can answer this X question all day long. Disclosure. But UAP legislation, yes, it has disclosure behind it, but it has way more to do than just that. There's so much to get to that point, right? Politics. We're bringing in, welcome to the party, politics, Mr. Politics, welcome. They're about to try to shit in the punch and ruin it for everybody. That's what politics does. So be careful. Watch him. Keep an eye on this guy. Don't let him near the punch bowl. Yeah, it's just what's going to happen, right? Good or bad. Right? And look, they're just saying unidentified anomalous phenomena. Right? So I don't think they mentioned non-human. Well, they do right here with Chuck Schumer. It's all about UAP. Well, yeah. So, you know, just stuff we can't explain. What is it? The government and everyone knows there is just stuff out there that we can't explain. Now, what that is, that's where the real discussion is, right? But we can all agree there's definitely stuff that we can't explain or don't know what it is in the moment. Because people will see a video of something and go, well, it's probably a balloon. Well, that's probably a jet. It's definitely not ET. Okay, I get that. But you're still stuck on probably, right? There is a lot we don't know. And we don't have all the knowledge of everything around us. Those two things are facts, right? Nor will we ever know everything. That jar is limitless to fill, the jar of knowledge, right? So, and it's got droplets in it. We don't know anything. So with that said, you do need people looking into this stuff, regardless of how you feel about it. And I don't typically support lobbying groups and things like that. So if I don't support something like this financially, it doesn't mean that, oh my God, Patrick doesn't support UAP. I don't support a lot of stuff like that financially. I support this way what I'm doing. You know, I like to take action myself personally. But again, I'm not, you know, UAP legislation, like, great, let's do it. But I don't really care, if I'm being honest. I'm cool with figuring it out on my own, hearing from real people. Right. I've always said I don't need the government to give me disclosure. That's a different kind of disclosure. I can find it personally. I think a lot of people feel that way. Now, that doesn't mean you can't support that as well. Yeah, cool. Great. But really, we're going to wait for our government to give us what we want and give us the answers and, like, put it all on them? That's just not. Now, but we need it because it helps protect our country, right, too. National security. There's other things going on. And what if we have an agreement with these NHI, right, like that's being said? Right? Yeah. There's a lot there. So I wonder, you know, there will be more whistleblowers coming forward. Clearly. That's why would you have that in there as well, right? So clearly there's going to be more whistleblowers coming forward. Again, I think at this point, people only want to hear from whistleblowers who actually have something to blow the whistle on. Because, you know, I say that, but at the same time, anything that drops out, people chomp on right away. So, I don't know. It's like, it's just juicy, exciting stuff, no matter how you, whether it's real or not. It's just interesting to hear the stories. It's a double-edged sword for the community. It helps because it brings people in, but it can also dilute everything, right? So, I don't know. That's a tough one. All right, guys. I can't believe I made a 30-minute video about this, to be honest with you. Yikes. I got one last thing I'm going to do on my way out, which is just, I did this before. I'm going to go over some comments from yesterday's video. Just going to review for the last few minutes here some comments. Not very many in yesterday's video, to be honest. With live streams, you don't really typically get a lot of comments because people put it in the comments in the live chat. But we can average like 400 or 500 comments a video. So for it to only get 137, yeah, it is what it is. Plus, it's holidays. It's been kind of slow as far as that goes. So let's see here. Tony Corsini says, remember, everyone, that James Fox is trying to get the regular non-UFO people to pay attention to the phenomena and that it's a real thing. Yeah, that's also a great point, right? It's like you need people like James and other people to just bring the subject into the light in a digestible way. Nice, easy, digestible way, right? And I think that's what this comment is getting at, and I agree. Because people were, I don't know, I guess maybe being critical of James a little bit about his documentaries and what's in them and how much impact they have and if it moves the needle. You know, is it new information? Does it move the needle? I don't know. I guess I do want to know too, but doesn't mean I won't watch it. Green Street claims Gallaudet is exploiting his family, then proceeds to exploit his family. Yes, if you remember, Green Street, tweeted out some stuff about Admiral Tim Gallaudet's family being on a psychic medium show and brought in his kids and all this stuff. I'm talking about New York Post reporter Stephen Greenstreet. And yes, I brought it up and people just commenting on that. Yeah, I agree with this comment, actually. That was the irony, which I brought up in the live stream, right? Patrick, if we lose power and internet, etc., there's always pen and pencil and paper. The good old days. Now, these are the good old days. Aloha. Yeah, look, I'm still, I think he meant my list that I made on paper. Yeah, dude, I still write a lot of stuff down. I just like it. I don't know. I am. And I have the worst handwriting. This is a good comment. I like this one. I gave it the heart. Loving Contact in the Desert in Palm Springs. That's right. Contact in the Desert is happening right now. My second year volunteering, helping manage the rooms and halls, welcoming, ushering, counting heads, taking tickets. Patrick viewers would recognize just about all of the speakers. Wonderful to see and casually say hello to people I have admired for many years. While there are passes for sale for multi-days, special access, etc., there are also one-day passes, and Thursday was free. All day, every day, there are free lectures and activities with big names, plus up-and-comings. I'm just a volunteer, but it's fun. I get to see presentations by illustrious folks in ufology, as well as consciousness, media, and pop culture. I've had 2 female professional role models for 40 years, Jane Goodall and Linda Moulton Howe. Jane is not here, but Linda is, and what a funny, brilliant, kind, and fascinating gal she is. I'll be helping post-conference as well. My fellow volunteers are a great bunch, creative, curious, and companionable. Patrick, some podcasters are doing live shows. That's cool. You know, people have problems with those conferences, and maybe I might have even said something at some point. I don't know. But right now, as it stands today, I don't see an issue with it. Now, do I wish certain conferences were certain ways? Yeah, I would. I want Vetted to put on a conference one day because I've got some ideas. I used to put on a lot of events down in Austin with bands, like with, music and food. Right, I helped out with South by. I used to help Showtime, the channel, put on their South by show with the food. And I worked with the Recording Academy. I used to do their Christmas show in Austin and run the bar, all the food, the entire event, right? The red carpet, all that stuff, like security, I've done a lot of events, worked with a lot of a lot of big companies doing that. I would love to put on a UFO event because I would focus on the music and the food and not so much the speakers, and really just make it a place for people to hang out together and get to know each other, like-minded people, right? But with this common bubble around you of UFO, ufology, but surrounded by familiar things we all get along with, which is music and food. Good music and food, right? That's the key to me, my opinion. And affordable to an extent, right? Try to make it as affordable as possible. But, we'll see. So a lot of these conferences are built around speakers and hearing and getting new information and access. And I get that. I totally get that. But mine would be more about the people, the vetters, right? Us all having a great time. Not so much of a hierarchy of things. And again, that's a lot of conferences run like this, okay? So there's nothing against the UFO one, and I'm glad if people want to pay, they pay. They don't have to, right? You pay, you go, you get what you want. Awesome. Or you can volunteer like this woman did, and she's having a blast doing it. Like, I get it. To see people in person, you probably look up to and watch and whatever. I totally get it. People are doing podcasts there. That's awesome. Maybe I'll go next year. I don't know. I didn't feel like going this year. I'm taking one trip so far, and that's to Roswell this summer. But yeah, maybe I will go next year. I don't know. This seems to be like the one, to go to. James Fox has earned his stripes. He has been doing this a long time. Love is passion. Agreed. I always miss the where are you guys from? Dubai. Wow. Yeah, at the beginning of the live stream, pretty much every live stream I do, I think, I always ask for everyone to shout out where they're from. And I read it off because I love seeing where everybody's from all over the world. It's so, I don't know, I get a kick out of that every time. Stephen Greenstreet, that is something not to be proud of. Not that we can't have a colorful youth or earlier life, but it's still part of our identity. The witnesses of the Phoenix lights all agree that there was a dark mass blocking out the stars attached to the lights. Yeah. Look, again, the Phoenix lights I mentioned yesterday, we launched in our Discord server. Go join. It's free. Link in the description. We're doing this vetted cases once a month, right? One vetted case once a month. And case number 1 is the Phoenix lights. So for the month of June, we are looking into the Phoenix lights case. And then at the end of the month, I'm going to make a video and give credit to all the people in the Discord server who helped bring resources and, information, research together for me to be able to make a video, right? And it's not anything groundbreaking. It's just, compilation of a lot of different stuff, helping people understand what happened that day, right? We're there to just give as many angles and information and report on as much of what happened that day so that people can have the best understanding they can about that case. And we're going to do that every month, a different UFO event. The Phoenix Lights, that's the first one. So go join the Discord server, jump in. People are already putting a ton of stuff in there. This is going to be crazy, actually. I might have to separate it into different folders or something, like interviews, the videos themselves of the lights, this, that, right? Documents. I don't know. It's going to be a lot to go through, but there's a lot there. We'll see. We'll keep it going. But people are just posting, man, all kinds of stuff. Like I said, all kinds of stuff about the Phoenix lights. So get in there, jump in on the investigation. Help us. All right, let's vet it together as a group. Thank you, Patrick. Another great video. Thanks for keeping us up to speed on James Fox's effort. Absolutely. Greenstreet definitely went too far with the fan, but the point that he believes and encourages that poltergeist nonsense further proves the reliability or lack thereof from him. Maybe, but again, that wasn't the point. The point is not your opinion. Your point is how you express it. And I do think there are some lines that shouldn't be crossed. And where that line is, everyone's going to draw a different line. I'm sure people thought I've crossed lines here. I know they have. Right? There's people that accuse me of clickbait and all crossing all kinds of lines, But I know my heart. I know where I stand. I know what my intentions are, But some people can't get that. All right. So that's going to be tough. It's always going to be gray around the edges. Just is, But for me, what I spoke about yesterday had nothing to do with Tim Gallaudet and what he brought. It was just Greenstreet and what he was covering and just that. It had nothing to do with any of the claims. Just for me personally, bringing in family and little kids, and so I don't see the point of that. Why? Because again, all Greenstreet wanted you to do at the bottom of his tweet was go watch his video about Jay Stratton. That had nothing to do with Tim Gallaudet. Because it all came down to, see, Tim Gallaudet and his family are crazy, and he's close friends with Jay Stratton. And hey, don't forget about my video about Jay Stratton. And I just thought that was lame. But whatever. He's putting out content. He's trying to get people to that content. People will do all kinds of stuff to do that. And Stephen Greenstreet is a troll on Twitter. We don't block many people on Twitter. Vetted doesn't. We don't even follow anybody. And Stephen Greenstreet is one of the very first people I ever blocked. After I supported him on the show here. But then he started to troll Vetted on Twitter. I just don't do that. I don't put up with it. For 1 second, I don't put up with it. Gone. Especially a public figure. What are you doing? But he does that a lot. He does more than just want to give facts about UFO sightings and people in the UFO community. He wants to, there's more to it. for him than just reporting on the facts. Right? He adds. As from a chef standpoint, I would say he's he's over garnishing, or he's crowding the plate. Too much shit on him. It's like, dude, for me on this reporting, cut the fat. I'm not a reporter, right? I'm not a journalist, but he claims to be an investigative reporter and journalist for, a major news media organization, the New York Post, right? Just different standards. So, and yeah, just in, accusing Tim Gallaudet of exploiting his children and then simultaneously exploiting his children, right? Like, you're not making sense, Stephen. So whatever. I have him blocked on Twitter. I don't worry about him on there. But we did have to talk about it. So anyway, all right. I think I've gone too long on this. I only meant to do a few minutes. So anyway, listen, guys, I will see you guys on tomorrow's video. All right. Beautiful Monday morning. We are into June now. Very exciting. We've got some great interviews lined up for June. We've got a live stream on Thursday night. It's going to be a late night stream. Well, not really late night. I've done a few the past few weeks. I've done 2 or 3 of them. Thursday nights is kind of like when I do my night streams. Not every week, though. I haven't been doing it every week. But I am this week with Pavel Ibarra from co-contributor of The Big Thing with Christian Harloff, and on Down to Earth with Christian Harloff, and his own show as well that he has. So, all right, guys. And I got a couple other interviews that I'm doing this week for the channel, for Vetted. They should be very interesting, curious. I'll let y'all know as that goes. Otherwise, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Again, the Discord is free. Head over there and join. All right, guys. Remember, every day is a gift.